Charlotte, we say welcome back, Mac. The Hall of Famer returns to the sidelines to meet an old friend. It's Mac Brown's North Carolina Tar Heels taking on Will Muschamp's South Carolina Gamecocks. And a moment ago, we were in the North Carolina locker room.
You only get one chance to make a first impression. This is a new team. This team has never played. This coaching staff has never been together. So this family, for the first time, is going to show millions of people who we are. And you look around the room a little bit, all of you are here for a reason. Why? You figure out why we brought you, and you just do your job. That's it. We don't need anything else out of you. In fact, if you try to do too much, you'll mess it up. Just do your job.
And our job today is to bring you a football game, and what a day we've got as we welcome you to the Belk Kickoff, presented on ESPN by PlayStation. The Gamecocks of South Carolina taking the field, and they will take on the Heels. It's South Carolina, North Carolina. A little border war to kick off a college football season for both of these programs. They're ready to go. We're ready to go. Hi again, everyone. Bob Wishoes, and welcoming Dan Orlovsky to our crew. Excited to be paired together this year. Allison Williams will join us in just a moment. Mac Brown's no longer with us at ESPN. And why? Well, home called. He answered. Family, accountability, pride, those seem to be the themes of his pregame speech. It's pretty obvious why North Carolina wanted him back.
Yeah, I mean, these players at North Carolina are craving for some structure, and Mac Brown is giving it to them. They are craving for leadership. Mac Brown is giving it to them. They are craving for someone to believe in them. Mac Brown is doing that, and the confidence the Hall of Fame coach is instilling into his players, I'm fired up to watch it play out on the field.
Yeah, when we met with him yesterday, you could see that fire was back in his eyes. There's a reason that coaches coach, and Mac Brown, he's a football coach, and he is back, and he will debut his new North Carolina Tar Heels team against the Gamecocks in just a moment. South Carolina and North Carolina just about to kick it off here at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. Bob Wishoes and Dan Orlovsky upstairs. Our partner Allison Williams is downstairs, and Allison, plenty of history between these two head coaches.
There is, Bob. These two rival programs led by Will Muschamp and Mac Brown are two friends and former colleagues coaching against one another for the first time since they coached together at Texas. Muschamp was Brown's defensive coordinator from 2008 to 2010. He was even named the coach in waiting by Brown, a move he later said he regretted because it sent the wrong message that he was ready to get out of coaching. Now, neither of their tenures ended as expected at Texas. Brown was ushered into retirement. Muschamp became the head coach at Florida. But Muschamp said his 3 years in Austin were three of his best of his coaching life, and Brown said we're both in better places now.
Well, it certainly seems, Dan, to have worked out for Will Muschamp. Went to Florida. Now he's on the sidelines in Columbia. But having said that, that was a lot of pressure on both guys, probably unintended when Mac Brown made that declaration that Will Muschamp was going to be in the on-deck circle in Austin.
The right intentions, probably the wrong execution. Make no bones about it, though. They want to beat each other today.
North Carolina won the toss. They deferred to the third quarter, so they'll start the second half with the football. So the Gamecocks will have it first. The Belk kickoff is underway. Shi Smith's going to bring it out from 3 yards deep. Good decision. He gets walloped at about the 27-yard line. Well, both of these teams have interesting stories today at quarterback. North Carolina, they're starting a rookie. We'll get to the freshman a little bit later on, but you can't ask for more experience than Jake Bentley brings under center for Will Muschamp. When he finishes his career in Columbia, he might hold every record there is for a South Carolina quarterback.
Very talented. His biggest strength, there's not a throw on the field he does not love. At the same time, he has to value the football. Don't protect it and keep it safe. You have to value it to get the wins this team should this year.
They'll empty out the backfield on first down, and an easy pitch and catch to his favorite target. That's Bryan Edwards. Deebo Samuel, of course, drafted in the second round by the 49ers. That's big production to lose, but Bryan Edwards is probably about as go-to a receiver as there is in the SEC.
He'll be playing on Sundays. That's the matchup today. How many times can they get it to 89?
And he is at the bottom of your screen here on second down and 3. Little swing pass to Rico Dowdle. He's got plenty of room to midfield before he's brought down.
Love the play call. No thinking for the quarterback. Get it out of his hands. Easy completion. Blockers out in front.
On the ground this time to Dowdle, and he's got a lane to the 30-yard line. Picks up 21 more chunk plays on this opening drive for the Gamecocks.
First play of the game, they throw a short little pass to Brian Edwards, number 89. That play, they bring him in motion. Everybody has eyes on him. You get one defender to pay attention where he's not supposed to. Use your best player as a decoy for a big run.
Dowdle again, bouncing it outside. Net by Miles Dorn, but not before he picked up 6 more. It'll be 2nd down and 4. As on the opening drive, South Carolina knocking on the door of the red zone.
And this is the part of their game that is going to be important for them this year. They want to be hard-headed, stubborn running the football. Big, powerful offensive line. They want to hang their hat on it.
Tavian Feaster checks in for the first time, the grad transfer from Clemson. His first carry as a Gamecock. Close to a first down, and it looks like he's got it. Miles Woolfolk came up and made the stop. Tavian Feaster averaged 6 yards per carry for his career at Clemson. Travis Etienne, the only player in Clemson history to average more yards per carry. That was a heck of a 1-2 punch, part of 2 national championship teams for Dabo Swinney. And he's got the carry now here for Will Muschamp. 3 more to the 15-yard line. Chaz Surratt, the old quarterback turned middle linebacker, made the stop. How about the weight that's now on his shoulders, missing Dominique Ross and Jonathan Smith?
Yeah, I mean, literally going from quarterback to playing linebacker. And that was a big thing for me. Was North Carolina just going to go, okay, you're playing linebacker now. Let's run the ball right at you. And they've done a lot of that this drive so far, but a huge transition. He's talked about how every day the hits add up.
End around. The carry on Joyner. No gain. Trey Morrison in on the stop, and the corner a little slow to get up, and because Joyner lost his helmet, he has to come to the sideline for at least one play, and a very important 3rd down now. A chance for North Carolina to get a red zone defensive stop. They forced 3rd down at 7. Jake Bentley shakes off a sack somehow, and dropping the ball is Edwards. Chaz Surratt had a chance on the blitz to bring down Bentley, couldn't do it, but they still get a stop in the red zone. It'll be a field goal attempt.
Blitz the ex-quarterback, Surratt wide open. Finished the play. Great job by Bentley getting the ball out of his hands. You would expect the all-SEC receiver Edwards to come down with that, but this is a win for North Carolina's defense. Force a field goal attempt early on.
Parker White from 32 for his career, 66%. 1 for 1 this year. And South Carolina strikes first here in Charlotte. The first time North Carolina will open up a season with a true freshman at quarterback. That's Sam Howell talking to the new offensive coordinator Phil Longo. Bob Wischusen here with Dan Orlovsky. Well, you're a guy that knows what it's like to make your first ever start at multiple levels. What do you think Phil Longo's telling a freshman quarterback here?
Well, mine was in Lane Stadium against Virginia Tech.
How'd that go?
I was friends with the garbage can, but he's just telling him, go be yourself, man. This is football. Let's go play.
Well, let's see what kind of field position he ends up with. Michael Carter will take a knee, and then Bluff coming out, so it will be the 25-yard line for North Carolina. So Sam Howell was the #2 prospect overall in North Carolina and the #3 pro-style quarterback in many services in America. Set records. How about the scouting report and what he can expect?
Be decisive today. To do that, you have to trust your eyes. You're a smart kid. Football is football. Trust your eyes. At the end of the day, your teammates, They want you to act like you belong on this field.
His mom, Amy, as nervous as could be. Probably the most nervous of anyone in this stadium. As her son's out there as a true freshman on national television for North Carolina. And now already he's going back 5.
Offense, 5-yard penalty. First down.
No awareness of the play clock for the true freshman, so it's 1st and 15.
Not a great start for the true freshman, I get that, but I did love the fact that Phil Longo on the sideline, offensive coordinator, is going, relax, everyone relax, we're going to be okay.
They start on the ground with Michael Carter. He turns the corner. He's got a first down and more. Well, that'll take some heat off a true freshman quarterback. "23 yards to start the game for the junior Michael Carter. He stays in the backfield to the left of Sam Howell. Swings it to him. Carter with some blockers out in front. Powers his way right to the sticks. He might have another first down. Without measurement into North Carolina. Fresh set of downs. False start. We'll make it 1st and 15 back on North Carolina's side of the 50.
False start. Offense, 63. 5-yard penalty. First down.
You certainly don't want 1st and 15 twice in your first drive as a college quarterback. I will say this, that Phil Longo talked about their offensive coordinator again getting the ball out in space and making sure that his receivers or tight ends were committed to blocking the perimeter. That's going to be a big part of the game today. We just saw it on the swing pass to Michael Carter previously.
Carter caught behind the line, and now it's 2nd down and 18. A 3-yard loss because of DJ Wonnum. His 21st career tackle for loss.
Wonnum is a premier NFL outside linebacker. No respect. The thing that he allowed him to go down the line of scrimmage at the run, the corner was coming from behind him. He's going to be responsible for Sam Howell.
Quarterback draw. Howell right up the middle. Gets right back to the original line of scrimmage. Picks up 8. So it's 3rd down and 10.
College football learning lesson. Get down. Interesting here. 3rd and long for a true freshman quarterback. What's the play call if you're Phil Longo? You want to make sure, I don't want to expose you, but listen, if South Carolina's going to come after you and they're going to blitz you and play man, let's see if we can protect and take a shot downfield. Give our guys a chance.
With only one deep safety, looks like man-to-man coverage. And maybe that's what Phil Longo saw. Here comes the blitz. Check down underneath, wide open. Rontavious Groves down the sideline with an easy pitch and catch and a run for a first down.
Yeah, you saw Sam Howell clap, look to the sideline. Okay, I've got man-to-man. Maybe I don't want to take the shot. Let me get a double move, a little inside and out, man-to-man beater. Nice route by Toe.
And off to Javonte Williams, but this play blown dead just as it gets started again.
Prior to the snap, we were notified by replay of a previous review on the play.
The only thing I could think of is that Toe Groves may have stepped out of bounds somewhere along the sideline prior to getting down to the 22-yard line. So they may have gotten the spot wrong. Not sure. It looked like he stayed in bounds. There's still some green grass in between him and the sideline.
I don't know. It's the benefit of wearing white cleats. You got to see the white sideline, white cleat, green grass in between.
And that third step there, his heel never hit the ground.
Right, the heel's a big part of it, right?
Right there. Almost looks like his heel stays up off the turf. So I can't imagine there's anything that they would see from these replays to say clear and obvious we're going to overturn the spot down at the 22-yard line. Does this rob an offense of any momentum coming off a big chunk play?
Not really, because Will Muschamp is an information guy.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed of where the out-of-bounds spots was on the 22-yard line.
Will Muschamp, as a coach, will do things early on in the game with his front or his linebackers to try to figure out what you're doing as an offense. So now, North Carolina almost has an opportunity to get together and say, hey, they're doing this, let's do this kind of stuff. It's almost like an extra timeout or a possession for them.
Like a basketball play where you come out, take a look at what the other team is in, and then call timeout and re-rack it.
If coached the right way and having a good plan, this is a big advantage for North Carolina.
Zone read, and the quarterback pulls it down. And Howell picks up 3 right up the middle. Net by Ernest Jones.
I love when young quarterbacks want to prove to their teammates they're tough, but at the same time, you have a very bright future. Get down.
This time he gives it to Javonte Williams. Hard run by Williams. Close to a first down. Looks like progress gives it to him at the 11-yard line. Tackle made by T.J. Brunson.
Javonte Williams is a type of back that he's not going to go down with a arm tackle or shoestring, always falling forward. But this is also what North Carolina wanted to be. The battle of wills, own the line of scrimmage. So far, offensively, great start.
And now it's back to Michael Carter at tailback. Daz Newsome motions.
And you got man-to-man, so if I'm Phil Longo, I'm finding a man beater in my package down in the red zone. One-on-one down here to Daz Newsome.
The sideline just changed this play on 1st and 10 from the 11. They're going to keep it simple with Carter. Might have gotten a yard. That time Ernest Jones said no, and R.J. Roderick helped stuff the hole as well. How hard is it to call plays for Phil Longo when the field shrinks? It's almost like 1st and 10 at the 11 is, in a way, the worst possible down and distance you can have.
Yeah, it's tough. Your plan is your plan, though. You got to trust the plays that you have in preparation.
Carter looking for room. And it will be 3rd down at the 8-yard line. So now a chance for South Carolina to see if they can get a red zone stop, hold to a field goal.
South Carolina, first 2 plays of this red zone series right here, has just lined up and played man. Brought everybody. If I'm North Carolina and Phil Longo, I'm anticipating, okay, Will Muschamp's going to come after me. Let me give a receiver either a one-on-one, or can I get a little rub or pick play versus this coverage?
They'll stay conservative with Javonte Williams. And he gets to the 5-yard line. 3rd down from the 8. They needed 7 to pick up a first down, and they ran it. Does that set up possibly going for it on 4th down, or do you take the easy 3? Now, Mac Brown's going to send his field goal unit out.
Listen, that is an outstanding drive for North Carolina's offense and their young quarterback. I would have loved a shot at the end zone, but to have the chance to get 3 to start your college football season and career, outstanding.
A brand new battery across the board, special teams wise, for North Carolina. New long snapper, new holder, and the new kicker is Noah Ruggles. And he's got it. The chip shot makes it a 3-3 tie. Just under 6 minutes to go in the first quarter here in Charlotte.
The Bell Kickoff is presented on ESPN by PlayStation 4. The best place to play, and in part by Hampton by Hilton. College football stays here. Book now at Hampton.com.
There are 5 active coaches that somewhere on their resume have that, a national championship. Mac Brown is one of them. You saw the other 4. That's like a current day Mount Rushmore of college football coaches. You just saw them across the board. Bob Wischusen and Dan Orlovsky upstairs. Allison Williams down on that Tar Heel sideline. And Allison, Mack Brown's got issues in his secondary.
Yeah, he really does, Bob. They are so thin there and at linebacker, and they just suffered an injury they really couldn't afford to. Trey Morrison, their starting corner, out for the rest of the game with an upper extremity injury. Remember, they are already without starting corner Patrice Rene for the entirety of this half. He is serving a suspension from the last game last year, so he will not be able to return into the second half. So they are really thin in the secondary.
I also lost Dominique Ross and Jonathan Smith, both to suspension at linebacker as well. That means the quarterback Chaz Surratt plays the entire game at Mike linebacker. Our first opportunity to get an update back in the studio with Matt Barrett. Northern Iowa State, that is a shocker. Iowa State was one of the feel-good stories in all of college football last year. Be a terrible way for their season to start. Jake Bentley swings one in the flat. Carry on Joyner. He breaks a tackle. There is a flag down on the near side of the field.
Personal foul, hands to the face, defense, 51, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, automatic first down.
And that's a big call on Raymond Vahasek for North Carolina.
And the penalties were an issue last year for this football team. We've already seen a couple. Look at 51 right there. Watch his right arm go up underneath the face mask of Dylan Wonnum. Another penalty. They're not going to be able to overcome injuries and penalties today.
Rico Dowdle trying to fight his way to midfield. He picks up 5. Well, you heard Allison talk about Trey Morrison being ruled out for the rest of the game. Number 4 in sky blue took a knee from Joyner right to the helmet. This on the last possession, and that was the sophomore trying to get up, and that is why he is done for the rest of the day. So Greg Ross and a true freshman Storm Duck now manning the corner spots for Mack Brown. In the absence of Trey Morrison, and at least for the rest of the first half, Patrice Rene. Jake Bentley has all day to throw. Coming back to help out the quarterback and making a catch right at the first down marker is Josh Vann. And it looks to be good enough for a South Carolina first down. The premier game of the day for us on ABC tonight. Justin Herbert and Oregon taking on Auburn, presented by Wells Fargo. Again, that's 7:30. Our coverage begins tonight on ABC. And how big of a game is that for both of those programs?
That's the biggest game for Oregon since 2010, really. Against that dominant defense and potential #1 pick at quarterback, they need it.
Dowdle stumbles down to about the 42-yard line of North Carolina, picks up 4. Jason Strobridge on the stop.
I'd say 2 things for South Carolina's offense right now. First of all, you've got some backup corners, and you have an all-SEC NFL caliber wide receiver. At some point, very quickly, I'm testing those corners, and the ball is going downfield. 2, Jake Bentley has really done a nice job of getting through progressions early on, a strength of his.
Well, Brian Edwards, that all-SEC caliber receiver right now standing on the sideline. Instead, they'll keep it on the ground to Tavian Feaster. And Feaster is feasting down to the 34-yard line. He picks up the first down.
Bob, Dan mentioned earlier a key for Jake Bentley this year, valuing the football. And it's the first thing he said to me that he has to improve this year. He said it was a glaring issue in my play last year, the interceptions, especially in the red zone. So he got with quarterback coach Dan Warner, and they went through each one, really dissected what went wrong. And the biggest thing he said, I can't try to do too much. I have to stop forcing things. Let the play come to me.
They had 14, had led the SEC in 6 of those picks in the red zone. Play action here. That's broken up. Well read by Chaz Surratt. So the quarterback dropping back in coverage as a middle linebacker gets a pass defensed.
Really well done by the quarterback.
He seemed to read that play and got his hands in and knocked it away. And now Brian Edwards is back in the game. He was the motion man. Instead, it's Feaster spinning free. Feaster down the sideline, looking for the pylon. Touchdown. Tavian Feaster had 15 career touchdowns wearing Clemson orange. Now he's got one for the Gamecocks.
The Clemson back comes over to South Carolina. Big body. Speed downfield. Missed tackles equal touchdowns. South Carolina goes up 10-3.
First touchdown for Tavian Feaster as a South Carolina Gamecock. Came at the expense of the former North Carolina quarterback, Chaz Surratt, and you'll see that in just a moment. Bob Wischusen, Dan Orlovsky, Allison Williams at the belt kickoff here in Charlotte, and South Carolina has the lead. A returnable kick for Carter from the 2. Michael Carter running to the wide side of the field, and he is going to get chased down at the 15-yard line. Dan, back to the touchdown.
Well, two things really stand out on this play. First of all, let's watch Eric Douglas and Stanley make massive blocks. But then this is part of this transition for Surratt. This is the linebacker right there. You're in the hole. You make the right read, but you got to make the tackle. It's a difficult task, but it's a big storyline in this game. South Carolina, they want to run the football. I'm going to run it at the quarterback, the ex-quarterback. How much do you truly want this contact?
South Carolina last season didn't have a run for a touchdown anywhere near as long as the one Tavian Feaster just used to find the end zone. And now Antonio Williams will start off this drive with a gain of 1.5 yards.
Tell you one thing, for again touching on a true freshman quarterback, he is doing a really nice job of walking around the field, communicating to everybody. He is being right now a field general for this offense. Impressive so far.
Back shoulder throw down the sideline, looking for the front shoulder of Antonio Williams, and could not find a connection. As we take a look at today's PlayStation player impact rating. And we're going to focus on these two corners for South Carolina. J.C. Horn, Israel Mukuamu. This is a heck of a pair of cover corners.
They'll tell you, too. They think they're the best in the country. Will Muschamp credits them for being part of this culture change. He says they practice every day at an incredible level.
They may get tested here on 3rd down. Nope, draw play. Breaking free is Carter. But he can't come anywhere near picking up a 1st down. Tripped up at the 20-yard line by Ernest Jones. He picks up only 3.
Bob, Sam Howell's phone was blowing up when he was named the starting quarterback for UNC, but one call really resonated with him, and that was from former Texas quarterback Colt McCoy, who went through a similar situation with Mack Brown at Texas, and he told the quarterback, just be you, relax, know you're good enough, or coach wouldn't put you out there. And you guys, that calm, confident demeanor we saw last night at the hotel, it's continued here today, and maybe he gets it from his mom, who he said wouldn't allow him back in the house if he didn't win the job.
Well, there's inexperience all over the field at key positions for Mack Brown. One of them is punter Ben Kiernan, the true freshman from Ireland, kicks it away to Brian Edwards, and Edwards gets a block. Great field position for South Carolina as Edwards pulls off a return to the North Carolina 40-yard line. 44-yard punt, but a 27-yard return, and the Gamecocks are in business. Boy, that's some job by Boise. Not only do they have to win in Tallahassee, it's a game they only found out a couple of days ago was going to be played in Tallahassee. They were supposed to head to Jacksonville and play Florida State.
Too.
And that was where the preparation was, and they end up Tallahassee in a day game and finding a way to come from behind and beat the Noles. And Iowa State survives as well. Already drama on this opening weekend of college football. 5 extra yards added on to the end of the return for an illegal formation penalty against North Carolina, and a screen thrown out to Shi Smith. Greg Ross bumped him out at the 30-yard line, but he picks up 6 yards.
I want to say this again. Brian McClendon, the offensive coordinator for South Carolina, is doing a really good job of not asking Jake Bentley to think too much, and that was a focus early on. Just get the ball out of his hands and allow him to settle in.
False start as Brian Edwards jumped off sides.
False start. Offense, number 89, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Sometimes when receivers think ball might be coming my way, you get a little extra excited. Shocking, a receiver would think the ball was coming to him.
It's going to be another false start. The left side of the offensive line flinched for South Carolina.
False start. Offense, numbers 50 and 79. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
This is also one of those moments that it helps having a quarterback with 32 career starts. Everyone will look to Jake Bentley. Look at his body language right now. He does not seem bothered. This is the benefit of all those starts, his calm demeanor.
Feaster. And 2nd down and 14. Results in 3rd down and 10 after only a 4-yard gain. And for Jay Bateman, a banged-up defense, trying to stay in this game at the end of the first quarter. A drive that begins inside your 40-yard line, and now you have a chance to get off the field.
Well, a big thing for him, especially on 3rd downs, is I'm trying to change the picture on you. And it's challenging when you lose guys, but they train their secondary to play a bunch of different positions. And if I'm South Carolina right here, it's potential 4-down territory. I don't need this 10-yard chunk.
Play action. Bentley out of the pocket. Pulls up. Looking for the home run. Incomplete. Tried to communicate with Brian Edwards and overthrew him on the last play of the first quarter. So we head to the 2nd quarter with North Carolina getting a desperately needed stop on defense.
The College Football Playoff lives on ESPN.
Welcome back to the Belk Kickoff. Presented on ESPN by PlayStation. Set for the start of the 2nd quarter. And North Carolina got a stop to end the first quarter, but Will Muschamp wants points. He's going to look for a 53-yard field goal attempt for Parker White to start off the 2nd quarter. And White just tugs it left. So it's good field position for Mack Brown's team. And how big were those 2 5-yard penalties now to start that drive that got South Carolina behind the sticks?
Massive. And credit the defense that has lost some players to have to rise up on a 3rd and 10. And this is where Jay Bateman, the defense coordinator, is going to come in big. Is how much can he help his football team?
And flip it around offensively to Phil Longo. You think maybe he takes the handcuffs off Sam Howell a bit here and looks to push the ball down the field?
Listen, when I asked him, I said, what are you going to do with the freshman quarterback? He said, he's not a freshman to me. So if you're going to say that, let's take the handcuffs off and let him go.
Right on cue. The slant is there to De'Ami Brown, and that's a 1st down to midfield. Here's Michael Carter. Picks up 4.
And I know tempo is a big part of football nowadays, but looking at it two ways. One, North Carolina wants to play with crazy tempo to tire out a very good South Carolina defensive line as much as they can. But also for a young quarterback, sometimes you just don't think. You do react, which is a good thing at quarterback, and that can help him play with a comfort level, and it's also what he's run in high school.
Carter again. Bulldozes his way about 2 yards shy of a first down. So now a big third down's coming up for the Heels. 3rd and 2 at the South Carolina 41-yard line.
Right now, if I'm Phil Longo, I feel really good about my offensive line and the way my backs are running. I'm handing this ball off and saying, we win this game or we hanging it, it's because of you guys.
They'll do just that. And it looks to be good enough for a first down. Squeezing it just past the line to gain is Michael Carter. Ernest Jones lost his helmet as well, so Mike linebacker's got to come off the field.
And these 3 backs that North Carolina has, Javonte Williams, Michael Carter, Antonio Williams, they're as good as a bunch of backs in the country. Right now, they're running the ball and falling forward. It's got to continue.
Broken tackles for Javonte Williams. 7 more yards. Sherrod Green, who just came in place of Ernest Jones, eventually got him on the ground.
That's 4 runs in a row to the left side of this offensive line, pulling the right side. They've got something cooking right now. North Carolina found something they like.
Well, that is not going to be what Phil Longo is going to like, and that was a false start.
False start. Offense, number 2, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Mack Brown, when he got the job at North Carolina, called up Lincoln Riley and Cliff Kingsbury, knowing that there's 2 pretty good collegiate offensive minds, said, give me an offensive coordinator recommendation. They both recommended Phil Longo. And here's Javonte Williams. Well designed by Phil Longo. A simple little swing pass is a big play down to the 21 for 16 yards and a first down.
South Carolina decides to blitz. The guy that would be covering Javonte Williams is no longer in the picture. Perfect play call for the defense. Easy throw for the quarterback. Get it out in front, but good conversion.
Quarterback draw. And Howell pays the price. Stood up at the line of scrimmage. Aaron Sterling and Ernest Jones sandwiched him.
South Carolina protected themselves there. Really good job by Will Muschamp. Anticipating potential quarterback run, they did a stunt on the inside. They brought the defensive tackles across each other's face. That's difficult for an offensive line in QB draw.
Pump fake for Howell. Looking to extend the play, but it ends in the backfield with Aaron Sterling getting the sack. A junior that broke his ankle last season, only played in 8 games, and he could be a force if he stays healthy.
They try to get him a little bit of trick play. Sam Howell realizes it's not there. Luckily, he hangs on to the football. But again, a learning experience on the fly. If it's not there, throw it away. Don't take those shots.
And how much of this for a freshman quarterback, game management, knowing you've got a field goal potentially if you're safe with the ball here?
Yeah, last thing you do here is take a sack. Incompletion is okay.
And that's batted down. Again, it was Sterling. So Noah Ruggles, who has 1 career field goal make, and it's today, is going to try from long range.
Credit South Carolina's defense. A little bend, but Sterling playing in place of Keir Thomas. 2 back-to-back huge plays.
47-yard attempt for the sophomore out of the hold of Cooper Graham. Blocked. And this will roll down to the 11-yard line and be touched down there by North Carolina. So South Carolina will take over as they get a blocked kick. Javon Kinlaw right in the middle gets the big hand up. Will Muschamp sideline loves it. And Taco Bell is celebrating student sections and passionate fans like the South Carolina Gamecocks by awarding the best student section of the year. Go to ESPN.com/Taco Bell to see if your team made this week's rankings and see how your school can compete. Bob Wischusen, Dan Orlovsky, and Allison Williams back here in Charlotte. And a lot of momentum swings for a low-scoring game through the first quarter and a half.
Yeah, I mean, some penalties, some big plays, some mistakes. Really, week one is what team is going to minimize those mistakes has the best chance, right? We've seen it already in the first handful of games today around college football. Now, that'll be a big conversation for these teams moving forward. Can we minimize our mistakes to stop those momentum swings or drive killers?
And we've seen some big pre-snap penalties or at the snap penalties, some false starts that have cost both of these teams on these last couple of possessions. Rico Dowdle on first down falls forward for 4 yards.
Guys, South Carolina has lost 2 tight ends from the start of training camp. One of them, Keel Pollard, he was looking to have a big senior year before he suffered a neck injury in camp. They thought initially he'd be out 4 to 6 weeks, but during an MRI, it was revealed he had a cyst on his spinal cord. Now, because of potential long-term consequences from that, he is done with football, but he remains very involved with his team. He's taken on a bit of a coaching role, was even the team captain before the game.
Quick hitter, incomplete through the hands of Brian Edwards. And Edwards paid the price as well as he took a shot from Miles Dorn. It'll be 3rd down and 6. And will it be 3rd down and 6 without the best receiver on the field for South Carolina, as he's going to have to come off for a play. That's a clean hit from Dorn.
I think we got to credit Miles Dorn there, right? I mean, that is a chance to make the right choice in that moment. Hopefully Brian Edwards is okay. But let's credit the defender for doing the right thing at the right time, and that's a choice.
Edwards with only 1 catch for 7 yards so far, and he's off the field now for 3rd down and 6.
You know, the last 2 3rd and longs for North Carolina defensively, they've dropped 8 guys in coverage, only rushed 3. What does South Carolina do to defend that?
Play action here for Bentley. He's well protected. Flag down. He tries to check one down, and it was excellent coverage from the strong safety Miles Woolfolk. We'll have to check the marker on the far side of the field. Will Muschamp already has the punt group heading out.
This time Jay Bateman dialed up a pressure. That's why it's hard to play against him.
Personal foul, hands to the face, defense, number 55, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's Jason Strobridge, and that is a back-breaking penalty. That is like a turnover. Brutal. It doesn't go down in the box score as a turnover, but you just went from getting a 3rd down stop and forcing a punt to now a fresh set of downs for South Carolina.
Middle of the screen right here, 55. Watch the head go back. It's up right there. Helmet goes off. And listen, that could be an unfortunate thing. It looks like his hand slips and then catches the helmet. That's a BBB, bad break bro. But at the same time, North Carolina defensive, you got to reset now and play another down.
Rico Dowdle hit right at the line and dropped by Miles Woolfolk, who has been active here in the first half.
Woolfolk just did an outstanding job of beating the receiver on the block inside, making the tackle. Jay Bateman, as a defensive coordinator, is doing a nice job of utilizing all 11 guys on the field, whether they're close to the line of scrimmage. As blitzers, corners can do a lot. They don't just have to cover in his defense. Doing a nice job so far.
His Carolina defense was devastated by injuries last season. Woolfolk was on the list. Only played 4 games last year before he was lost for the season. Bentley off play action, out of the pocket, trying to turn the corner. He's just going to throw that one away. And he gets knocked down by Alan Cater. The South Carolina fans not happy with the shot Cater just gave their quarterback. Well, that's the only game of the night. Monday night, Brian Kelly and number 9 Notre Dame will take on Louisville and Scott Satterfield's debut. 8 Eastern from Cardinal Stadium on ESPN and the ESPN app.
All right, so third down, we see this kind of, I call it Rolodex calls from North Carolina defensively. You don't know, as a play caller, what is coming. We've seen drop, we've seen coverage, we've seen pressure. So that's the challenge play caller-wise of what do I have to prepare for. North Carolina showing a bunch of blitzers right now. They blow out of there.
They only rush 3. So Bentley has all day to throw. Floats one over the middle. And Shi Smith's got it. North Carolina dropped 8 in coverage and still gave up a big third down completion. Miles Dorn made the stop.
Outstanding poise by Jake Bentley.
Right back to work quickly. A little pop pass. It's Shi Smith again, this time for 4 yards.
That's 2 third down and longs. Essentially, one you convert because of the penalty, and then another one you convert because your offensive line protects you a little bit. Your quarterback hangs in there, pushes the ball downfield. If I'm South Carolina offensively right now and I'm Brian McClendon, I'm going to take a shot at the end zone. These corners, I got to see if you can play with my receivers.
Storm Duck is a true freshman. And he's lined up on Brian Edwards. Instead, they're going to run it with Dowdle. The play strung out nicely by the North Carolina defense for a gain of a couple. It brings up another big third down. Think about the third down situations on this drive for the North Carolina defense. They give one up with a personal foul, give another one up when they drop 8 in coverage on 3rd and 10. Now they have a third opportunity. And this time they get the stop. The sack of Bentley.
But North Carolina will not back down. I mean, Jay Bateman again right there said, okay, here I come. Here comes the pressure again. You see Gamel go inside. Chaz Surratt wraps around. Man, North Carolina defense is keeping them in the ballgame.
39 yards out for Parker White. He's got it. It's a 10-point lead for South Carolina again.
Belk Kickoff, presented on ESPN by PlayStation, is brought to you by IKEA, where whatever your dream is, we can help you make it. And Boost Mobile. Boost makes it easy to switch. Switching makes it easy to save.
When that picture was taken, that was supposed to be the passing of the torch. It was going to be Mack Brown when he wrapped it up in Texas. Will Muschamp would take over. That's not how things shook out. And Mack Brown did tell us multiple times, he said it publicly, that that was a mistake, that naming Will Muschamp as the coach in waiting just gave the wrong message. And the message was, with 8 years left on my contract, at some point in the near future, I'm done. Yeah. Well, he wasn't anywhere near done. But they had just won a national championship. They were about to play for another in the not too distant future. Everything was roses. Then they started to lose some games in Austin. And that prearranged marriage didn't sit so well with the Texas fans, as Michael Carter will take it in the end zone for a touchback. Bob Wischusen, Dan Orlovsky, and Allison Williams coming right back to Charlotte in a moment. Allison Williams at the Belk Kickoff.
Let's go look back at this third down. This is an RPO, run pass option. Let's look at Dowdle and let's watch Chaz Surratt. There's 2 options, either hand it off or throw it. Rico Dowdle is expecting the ball out of Jake Bentley's hands. Everyone asking, why didn't you block the linebacker? That's not his guy. He thinks Jake Bentley's throwing the ball. That's on the 32 start quarterback.
What can the freshman quarterback do? Another slant is there for De'Ami Brown. And that's a gain of 14 and a North Carolina first down.
Obviously, those for Sam Howell are comfort levels. The hard run sell, get those backers to step up, easy throws behind.
Slant on the other side. This one to Daz Newsome. That looks to be good for a first down. And slow to get up is R.J. Roderick, and now he's going to come to the sideline.
North Carolina's had drives, right? Don't hurt yourselves with penalties and stay out of 3rd and 10. You'll move the ball.
Now steps up in the pocket, spins to keep the play alive, and picks up a yard.
This is why Sam Howell right now is playing well. Watch the ball get out of his hands so quickly. This is play calling at its best. I'm not going to ask my freshman to sit back there and hold the ball forever. When he's in rhythm and getting the ball out, this offense has moved really well. This needs to be the focal point for the rest of the afternoon.
Faced with 2nd down and 9 here. On the ground to Carter. Breaking tackles. Michael Carter in the open field. 1st down and more. Down inside the South Carolina 25-yard line as he broke the tackle of Jamias Williams near the line of scrimmage. Picked up 26.
Really behind the left side of that offensive line again. Charlie Heck, Ed Montelis, Nick Polino. That right now is where North Carolina has run the ball best. And you see again, these backs, they don't go down easily.
Quarterback draw for Howell. Lost the football. A scramble for it. Who's got it? And it looks like North Carolina avoids the turnover, although coming out of the pile with the ball is Brad Johnson for South Carolina. Well, Sam Howell's mom liked the call. It'll stay with the Tar Heels.
It's just one of those things. Can you do at college what you did in high school? Those guys are bigger and faster, and they hit harder. Great effort and hustle by the offensive lineman to get down there and recover that fumble. Another key opportunity for North Carolina. Charlie Heck, 67, senior tackle. Effort.
And it's 2nd down and 3. Now they'll let Michael Carter run it. Backs his way to about the 15-yard line. And what an important play now. 3rd down and 1 from the 15.
This is again a 3rd and 1. I promise you, Will Muschamp on defense is going to put people up on the line of scrimmage and play man. Looks like North Carolina's bringing some big bodies in, extra tight ends, extra offensive linemen. I'm running behind the left side of that line.
Javonte Williams behind the left side of the line has the 1st down and more. It'll be 1st and goal for North Carolina at about the 10-yard line.
Watch the push off the left side of this line. They're going to pull their right guard. McKeithen, 56, wraps around, big block. Billy Ross, the left side of that line is getting big time push right now.
Javonte Williams with a jump cut in the backfield, and he jump cutted right into the heart of Ernest Jones and that Gamecocks defense for a 1.5 yards.
I like that, jump cutted.
It's the post or the past tense of jump cut.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that one.
Yeah.
Ernest Jones,
stick with me. Guys, expand your vocabulary.
Guys, South Carolina cannot keep off the field. Listen, if North Carolina will do a hard run fake right here, because they run the ball so well, and bring one of those slants or in-breaking routes down here, this will be a touchdown. It is there for this offense.
They'll run it with Carter instead. Too conservative, in your opinion, when you've got wide receivers that both seem to have man-on-man matchups on the edge?
Yeah, and since they're running it so well, you've got second level, the linebackers of South Carolina, they're committed to stopping this run right now. We saw them in the red zone previously in the first quarter, 3 straight runs. There's opportunity. You've got to, at some point, trust your players no matter their age. Very conservative to Carter on 3rd down and goal from the 8.
That's the second time that we have seen them on 3rd down and 7 or more in this area of the field run the football.
Yeah, listen, bluntly, I hate it. You run the ball so well to set things up also. It's not just, hey, we're going to run the ball. There's throws there for Sam Howell and these receivers down in the red zone. Phil Longo has to trust his players. He said it himself, I'm not going to treat them like they're the young kids that they are. Your words, your actions have to match your words.
24 yards out for Noah Ruggles. And he's got it. He's now 2 for 3 on the day. And it's a 7-point game again with under 2 minutes to go in the first half. All right, Matt, thanks very much. And you wonder if it's only a matter of time before Alabama really takes control against Duke. They've got a 2-touchdown lead. It's a 1-touchdown margin here in the Belt kickoff between North Carolina and South Carolina in Charlotte. Still plenty of time before halftime for the Gamecocks to get another chance to score points. And this week, the Sunday Night Baseball crew in Philly for the series finale between Pete Alonso and the Mets, Bryce Harper and the Phillies, both in the wild card chase. Our coverage begins at 7 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app right after our ESPN U.S. Open tennis coverage. And if there were ever must-wins coming from a Met fan, they have arrived. They better start winning some games again.
I'm a Phillies fan.
Oh,
man.
boy.
Married a Philly girl, bro.
Well, those are two teams that the fan bases recently have both been displeased, so that's a big one on Sunday night. Jake Bentley, swing pass, Tavian Feaster. Out to the 32-yard line now. South Carolina's got all 3 timeouts, so plenty of time on the clock to score points.
Yeah, this would be an interesting way to handle this because goal number 1, score points. Goal number 2, do not give the ball back to North Carolina offensively. So you want to play with tempo, but not too fast.
Feaster shut down at the line. Let's go back to Matt Barry. Matt, another swing pass to Feaster, and North Carolina gets the stop on 3rd down. Now Mac Brown's going to want to call a timeout, you'd have to think. And there it is, with 50 seconds to go in the half. So now the Heels get a stop. They're about to get the ball back, and they'll still have 2 timeouts left.
Yeah, a little conservative play calling from both coaches in a way, right, in these situations. I will say Jay Bateman is doing a great job as defensive coordinator North Carolina, going, listen, you will not throw this ball to Brian Anderson. Someone else is going to have to beat us. And North Carolina doing a great job of running to the football. Now Sam Howell has a great chance or an awesome opportunity to get into a 2-minute drill.
Now, my question would be for you, 3 times now, or at least a couple of times, we have seen North Carolina get into the red zone down inside the 10-yard line and do nothing but run the football. Now, what do you do with a true freshman quarterback, and how frisky do you get with your play calling when you only got 50 seconds to go? The ball has to be in the air.
Couple things. What happens on the punt return? Where is our field position? And then let's do something on 1st down that we're safe with the football, a draw, a screen, maybe an RPO. And if something good happens, then let's get into 2-minute. If not, let's take it to halftime. We are exactly where we want to be.
Newsom has to go all the way back to his own 7-yard line. Now turns the corner and gets out of bounds shy of the 25.
That's got to be
and a flag.
Yeah.
Oh, if that's a late hit out of bounds, that is going to be a major field position changer. And Dan, this 15 yards might be enough to change the entire way that North Carolina approaches the last 39 seconds.
100%, because you could potentially start this drive at what, the 42, 43-yard line. So you look at 40 seconds to maybe get 25, 30 yards with 3 timeouts and the chance for points. Now, you think about being aggressive offensively.
After the play, personal foul, late hit out of bounds, kicking team. Number 13, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, first down.
So a 59-yard punt is all but erased by a 17-yard return and then a late hit out of bounds.
It looks intentful, right? Like Roderick lowers his shoulder. It looks like you're trying to do something there. South Carolina's in single high man. They got one safety middle of the field. There's chances for throws here.
Sam Howell to the sideline to Toe Groves. Conserves time and picks up 5. 2 timeouts for the Tar Heels. 36 seconds on the clock.
Now, if you're Sam Howell, the last thing you are doing is putting this ball in harm's way. You are not putting the ball up for grabs.
Here comes a blitz. Stepping up is Howell. And he's going to throw this one away. It'll be 3rd down and 5.
Well done. Well done as a true freshman quarterback. 3rd down and 5. Okay, 30 seconds on the clock. If I'm Phil Longo, I still call this play with the hopes or intentions of keeping this drive going. I'm not getting conservative here. Now, they have been in the red zone, but I still want to challenge South Carolina here. I got to trust my guy, Daz Newsome. Somebody's got to win a one-on-one.
Another blitz. Lob down the sideline. There's the one-on-one, and it's dropped by Newsome. Daz Newsome had a chance to make a play on Jamie Robinson, and that looked like an excellent throw from Sam Howell, and Newsome couldn't hold on.
Great play call, great throw. It's right there for Daz Newsome. Right there to go make that play. I love the aggressiveness. And listen, if I'm a teammate of Sam Howell's, I'm going over there, hey, you keep throwing it. You keep throwing it like that, and I will come down with those throws for you.
Ryan Edwards back deep to receive the punt of the freshman Ben Kiernan from Dublin. Came to the U.S. at age 15 as a rugby player and decided to give football a try. Now he's punting for North Carolina, and this one floats out of bounds. He didn't hit that one as well as he'd like. Let's see where they mark it out at the 33-yard line. Well, South Carolina's got their timeouts. Only 17 seconds on the clock, but only a 35-yard punt. Are they still aggressive maybe with their play calling here? Because that punt didn't even get inside the 30-yard line.
Little theme here. I like play callers who are aggressive. With a quarterback as good as Jake Bentley, I would be aggressive. Now it looks like they're going to go into halftime. I think both these coaches have to feel relatively positive about the performance, right?
Well, they're going to take a knee. This is going to be as conservative as it gets. North Carolina starts the 3rd quarter with the football, and that doesn't matter to Will Muschamp, as he's going to take a 7-point lead to the locker room at halftime of the Belk kickoff. Should be a very interesting second half. Right now, it's time for the halftime report. Back to the studio and Matt Barry. The Belk kickoff, presented on ESPN by PlayStation. Welcome back to Charlotte. Sam Howell, the true freshman quarterback, down by 7 at halftime. North Carolina and South Carolina in a low-scoring, tight game to open the season for both teams. Bob Wischusen here with Dan Orlovsky. Allison Williams will join us again in just a moment. Part of the reason that this is low scoring is got 2 defenses playing pretty well.
Yeah.
Another part of the reason this is low scoring is it seems like both offensive coordinators have handcuffed their quarterbacks a little bit, especially for North Carolina in the red zone.
Yeah, I mean, if you're North Carolina offensive, you go, we've run the ball well. We've moved it 20-20. And then down in the red zone, for some reason, we're not trusting our young freshman quarterback. They've been down there for 9 plays. They've handed it off 9 times. Mac Brown said it at halftime himself. At some point, we're going to have to trust the kid. For South Carolina, your defense is playing really good, right? Very much so a bend, but don't break defense. But offensively, you have to throw the ball downfield with Jake Bentley. Brian Edwards, Shi Smith, somebody, you got to be willing as a play caller to go, we're going to push the ball downfield. Let's go make a play.
Allison, what did Will Muschamp have to say?
Well, guys, both teams dealing with the issues of missed opportunities, and Will Muschamp said it's because they've hurt themselves. He said we move the ball really well, but then we get ourselves into position to score, and we have some uncharacteristic penalties that force us into a long field goal situation. So they have to clean those things up. That was his biggest concern. And also defensively, guys, he said we have to do a better job of tackling. And as I talk about those things, it's so obvious, right? This is the first game of the year. Isn't this what we seem to see in that first game? Maybe some jitters, issues with the penalties, struggles tackling. They're playing out for South Carolina.
Yes, that's part of game one, right? Like I said before the half, I think if you're both coaches, you have to feel okay. And now if you're North Carolina, this was the goal, to get the ball, to get the game to the second half and be still in it, and then you get number 5 back, Patrice Renee, who's an elite, big-time corner for them, and that will certainly help this defense.
They thought they were going to get Dominique Ross back for the second half as well. Same suspension as Renee for a fight against NC State to end last season, but Dominique Ross, he violated a team policy, so he was suspended by Mack Brown for the entirety of today's game. So Chaz Surratt, he's going to be the middle linebacker all afternoon. And North Carolina starts the second half with the football at their own 25-yard line with a touchback. Let's take a look at Sam Howell and how he handled the first half.
So far, so good. The big thing is they've allowed the ball to get out of his hands quickly. He's been decisive. That was a big thing. Allowing the people outside to go make some plays. But at the end of the day, Sam, don't take shots like that, okay? You've proved your toughness, and then someone at some point in this second half offensively will have to help him out. Daz Newsome had a chance to go make a play. Stay aggressive, young quarterback. Keep pushing the ball downfield when it's called. Allow somebody the opportunity to help you out.
Either quarterback cracking 100 yards passing in the first half. Play action to start the second half. And a rifle shot that is tipped. Playing zone coverage was Ernest Jones, and he almost sagged back and had a pick.
Just a good football play here. No, I'm not going to bite on that play fake, and then smart enough, I can't get there, let me get the hand up. Sam Howell got away with one right there, but an excellent example of Ernest Jones trusting his instincts.
And Ernest Jones, a sophomore, gave up his redshirt eligibility. Another penalty about to be called against North Carolina.
False start. Offense, number 3, 5-yard penalty. Second down.
But Ernest Jones last season had played 4 games. Now the rule in college football, if you play 5, you give up the ability to redshirt.
Right.
He had the choice, play in the Belk Bowl, don't play in the Belk Bowl. He said, I'm a football player, I'm going to play.
It was awesome.
And he gave up a redshirt year to play with his team last year in their bowl game. Play action, Sam Howell. Fires back to the right sideline over the head of Daz Newsome, and incomplete. And now it's going to be third down at 15.
I love the fact that they're coming out aggressively. Throw on first, throw on second down. And Sam Howell did a nice job of getting backside there, remaining relatively quiet. But now obviously you're in a bad situation here. Your defense is playing good. If I'm Phil Longo, this is going to be a draw. This is going to be a screen. Something getting the ball out of my hands, not giving a big play opportunity for South Carolina's D.
Quarterback run, and he's got nowhere to go. Javon Kinlaw eventually throws down Sam Howell, and he got some help from Kingsley Anigbari.
Long time holding the football. The last thing you want to do is allow a good defensive line to start feeling themselves. And that was my concern on that 3rd and 15. I don't want to get 3 Kinlaw going. I know how good of a player he is. And now if South Carolina defensively, you're going, okay, here we go. We're here, and we're going to win this game for ourselves.
And now you wonder what kind of field position the Gamecocks will get. A rugby-style kick from the rugby player, Ben Kiernan. And a fair catch called by Brian Edwards. Flag down on the play as well.
during the kick, holding, return team, number 22. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick, first down.
That's a big field position flip for North Carolina. And Oregon and Auburn renew acquaintances tonight. Of course, they played in the 2011 BCS title game. That was a big play when Michael Dyer thought he was down. Everybody thought he was down, and that led to the game-winning field goal. Cam Newton threw for 265 yards and a couple of touchdowns and led the Tigers to a championship. And starting off this drive for South Carolina, it's Rico Dowdle leading them to near midfield with a big run of 16 yards. So Oregon and Auburn presented by Wells Fargo tonight at 7:30 on ABC. Bentley off play action, well protected, and throws it on a check down. Nice job by Shi Smith to dodge a tackler and make something out of nothing. He picks up 4 yards, close to 5.
A great play by Bentley, just understanding where Shi Smith was, but I actually thought he had Brian Edwards on a big in. North Carolina blitzed both middle linebackers, kind of exposing the middle of the field, and it seemed like Bentley didn't see him, wasn't ready to pull the trigger. He had him.
Here comes the blitz. Bentley has to dirt the ball. It will be 3rd down and 5 at midfield.
It looked like it might have been a trick play, right? He fakes the handoff, and I'm going to run it, and they tried to take a shot downfield. North Carolina stayed back, and DJ Ford was allowed to get that pressure. And again, 3rd down offensively. North Carolina, or South Carolina offensively, is 1 for 5 right now. This has not been a strength of theirs because North Carolina is doing so much. Again, we got a bunch of guys up at the line of scrimmage, pressure.
Try to set up the screen. Diagnosed by the Tar Heels. Dowdle's got nowhere to go. Well played by DJ Ford, and it's another 3rd down stop for North Carolina.
Great job by Jay Bateman, but it's an even better job by the player, 16, right here. DJ Ford, watch him stay home, trust his eyes, follow the back, Dowdle, there for the tackle. Great discipline, eye discipline by DJ Ford.
Short punt. Out of bounds. A shank. Joseph Charlton has his punt out of bounds officially at the 37-yard line. A 17-yard punt. Time now for our Aflac trivia question. All right, stay with me on this one. It's a tough one. How many coaches are ranked 1st or 2nd in wins at 2 different Power 5 schools? One of those guys, it's a hint, has something to do with today's game. As Javonte Williams goes up the middle for 5 yards. There was also a penalty as we left for an illegal shift called on South Carolina. It was a 17-yard punt. The 5 yards made it in total. Only a 12-yard change in field position. So this is the best starting field position of the day for North Carolina. Javonte Williams again. Breaks free. Inside the 40. Stays on his feet. All the way down to about the 25-yard line. Before South Carolina finally gets him on the ground, Israel Mukuamu eventually made the stop. That's a 26-yard gain.
Listen to, watch Javonte Williams trust his eyes. It's that backside guard pulling, get up inside that guard. Great trust of the eyes by Javonte Williams. The left side of that O-line again, dominating.
They're going to let him try again. And again, he runs over to tackler and picks up 6 more.
You know, Javonte missed some cuts in the first half. And a lot of times you'll get coaches, hey man, follow that guard. Trust your eyes to follow that guard. And it's a little hole, and you just got to trust that it's going to open up.
Javonte Williams had 2 offers out of high school, Appalachian State and North Carolina. That was it. Flags down. That might erase the run that Javonte Williams just had.
False start. Offense, number 15. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
Looks like the right tackle might move early. I know they called it on Bo Corrales, a receiver up top, which would be the 3rd false start for a receiver for this North Carolina offense. Looked like the right tackle and receiver moved at the same time. Either way, you're 2nd and 10.
Now it's Michael Carter in a tailback. Play action, Sam Howell under pressure. Wanted to take a shot downfield. It wasn't there. Now he tries to do it himself, and he slides close to a 1st down. About a yard shy.
That's also a way of being decisive as a quarterback. It's not always just the throw. If you don't like it, get down and run.
Big 3rd down. Carter up the middle. Now what do? He's short of the 1st down. Is it another field goal attempt for North Carolina? Or 4th down and a half-yard to go, and you try and keep the drive alive, and here comes Javonte Williams. They're going for it. And Will Muschamp responds with the big bodies up front. You like this call?
I love it. And what we've seen is that left side try to collapse the line of scrimmage, and they're going to pull a guard. That's what's worked this whole game.
They'll run an option. There's a pitch to Williams. He's got the 1st down easily to the 11-yard line. And actually bring him down at the 12. But it's a 4th down conversion for the Heels.
They pull the backside guard, but they run option off the end, and Javonte Williams does enough to out-leverage the defense. Sam Howell, again, get the ball to your hands. Good job being decisive with it. Okay, we're down in the red zone. I'm telling you, hard run fake, wrap inside slant is there for this offense.
Javonte Williams makes it 12 straight runs in the red zone. He picks up about 3, maybe 3.5 yards.
Will Muschamp in South Carolina are putting 8 guys. They've got 8 defenders within 3 or 4 yards of the ball in a box. You've got 3 one-on-ones on the outside. There is the opportunity to throw the ball. North Carolina is going to have to trust their young quarterback.
Here's Sam Howell. The first throw in the red zone's a completion. Toe Groves to about the 5-yard line. Another very important 3rd down coming. 3rd down and 3 from the 5.
And I think that North Carolina is committed again to this being 4-down territory. I've been touting the throw down in the red zone. If I'm them, I'm running it here. I've run the ball so well. Now, does Longo have another variable off of that formation that they've been in so much, where they've handed off and pulled the guard? We'll see.
Pop pass in the back of the end zone, looking for the tight end, and it's broken up. Ernest Jones got a hand in and was able to knock it away. Howell couldn't find Carl Tucker, and now it's 4th down and 3 from the 5. And once again, it'll be a field goal settled for North Carolina.
Ernest Jones, the perfect example of why they can't keep him off the field. So many linebackers would commit to stop the run there, but he did his job. I am surprised a little bit that they won't go for this. But if you're honest, another great job by the South Carolina defense, not breaking, and a really impressive drive by North Carolina's offense.
Noah Ruggles knocks it through from short range, and we've got a 4-point game. So Mack Brown sees his team get 3 more. They were looking for 7. Sam Howell, off play action, tried to find Carl Tucker. That close to a touchdown. Great play by Ernest Jones. Sam Howell's mom, frustrated.
The Belt Kickoff, presented on ESPN by PlayStation, is brought to you by Burger King. Try the all-new Impossible Whopper, made from plants and now available nationwide.
Yeah, you grew up where I grew up, in suburban New York City. You saw a guy in blue terrorize opponents. You don't remember as much sky blue, though. LT. Those are the only two letters you need when you take a look at Lawrence Taylor, who in our CFB 150 all-time grades, we are celebrating the 150th year of college football, and we may right there be celebrating the greatest football to ever play. College, pro, regardless of position. It's hard to argue. I mean, he's top 5.
It's interesting. You threw a word May in there, when all the way up until this moment, there's been no May. You have said he's been the best player.
To me, it's either LT or Jim Brown. I think those are the two best players in the history of the sport. Those are the two most influential players in the history of the sport in terms of they just changed the way that teams had to coach against them. Shi Smith, heck of a return to the sideline. Great field position to start this drive for South Carolina after giving up the field goal.
Does an outstanding job of making the first guy miss. And then we talked about this. These teams don't practice special teams to the ground at all in training camp. What special teams unit could make the play because of that? Shi Smith rises to the occasion.
Now will Jake Bentley take a shot, as he is at the 36-yard line setting up shop. Instead it's Tavian Feaster. Brought down behind the line, lost a couple of yards. Aaron Crawford with the stop.
Guys, depth, stamina, conditioning can all become a big factor here in the second half on a hot and sunny day in Charlotte. And keep in mind, it's advantage South Carolina right now. They're over there in the shade and will be for the rest of this half, while North Carolina, their benches are all in the sun. It's a significant difference when you're in the shade versus the sun here. We'll see if it impacts things in the second half.
Tavian Feaster moved the pile for 3, maybe 4 yards. So now it is 3rd down and long, and you can hear the South Carolina fans starting to get a little agitated, thinking that their play calling might be too conservative.
I'm surprised by it. I know Brian McClendon, their offensive coordinator, said we want to be hard-headed in the run. But there comes a point where you got to call plays to win the football game. 3rd and 9 is not where you want to be versus any defense, little in North Carolina, because they've done so much against you. The past couple times they've blitzed. If they're blitzing, the ball has to go to 89.
Flags down.
False start. Offense, number 50. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Listen, this North Carolina sideline, in comparison to South Carolina's, is very different. They're starting to feel we can win this game, where South Carolina's going, uh-oh, we better wake up.
Well, for South Carolina, this is the 3rd time in the game they have begun a possession in plus territory. They've only got 13 points on the board. Now faced with 3rd and long. 4-man rush. Bentley over the middle. Right at the first down marker. Kyle Markway. He makes a diving catch to the 25. What a big 3rd down conversion for the Gamecocks.
Outstanding job by Bentley, seeing they kind of leave Markway uncovered. Good job getting the ball in his hands, and then Markway with a tough catch and contact.
Swing pass to Tavian Feaster, but this play killed at the line again.
Prior to the snap, we were notified by replay to review the previous play.
Boy, Jake Bentley was hot, because they wanted to go hurry up off the Markway catch. They had Feaster wide open on a little wheel route, but replay wanted to take a look at this diving attempt. I can't see the football there.
I don't see. It looks like there's a tuck, and even in that hit by Miles Woolfolk, this is an outstanding catch by Markway.
Yeah, that's a catch.
Looks like he secured it, yeah. There's nothing that's making me look like that ball hit the ground. And just watch the contact. I mean, Woolfolk gets a hand in there right there. And just the strength, the hand strength right there to hold on to that football is the difference in catch and incompletion. I believe this is a catch.
And even if the ball touches the ground, The ball can touch the ground. If in the opinion of the officials you have secured the ball and you've got complete control of it, the ball can touch the ground. It could still be a catch. And it certainly looked as if he caught that ball, put it away.
After review, the ruling on the field of a completed catch is confirmed. First down.
So what looked like a pretty obvious call, confirmed by replay. Having said that, I think South Carolina on the play that got blown dead had exactly what they wanted.
Oh yeah,
Feaster wide open.
Sure. But this allows you a plan. Okay, you're basically down in the red zone. You have a very detailed plan now that you can talk to your quarterback about, hey, we're looking to do this, this, and this. Go execute it.
Feaster up the middle. Falls forward for about 2 yards. Chaz Surratt made the stop. Trainers on the North Carolina sideline looking at the throwing hand or forearm of Sam Howell. So we'll keep our eyes on that for their next possession. Bentley under pressure, spins away from a sack, dumps it off, incomplete. Boy, he did a great athletic job to get away from the rush of Jeremiah Gemmel, but threw it behind Shi Smith.
Remember, he had one in the first half, very similar, right? Where he had Brian Edwards and there was the drop. Gemmel does an outstanding job of blitzing, becoming basically unblocked. Bentley equally as impressive, avoiding it. But the drop or the missed throw now leads to 3rd and 8, and we've talked about Jay Bateman and his North Carolina defense. South Carolina might try and pop a screen here. With all these bodies up in the line of scrimmage, okay, empty the protection, clear up the picture, you got a bunch of one-on-ones. Got him.
Up the seam, wide open on 3rd down. It's a walk-in touchdown for Kyle Markway, who made the 2 biggest catches on that drive.
Watch 12 right there. They bring all those people up to the line of scrimmage. Tamon Fox just allows Markway to run right down the seam. That's a danger when you put all those guys up in the line of scrimmage. Credit Brian McClendon. Empty the backfield. It becomes a numbers game. You can't match up.
An 11-point lead for the Gamecocks as Jake Bentley, 22 yards to Kyle Markway. And Will Muschamp's team takes control. A 2-score lead. 5:10 to go, 3rd quarter here in Charlotte. Bob Wischusen, Dan Orlovsky, and Allison Williams back here in Charlotte. Markway, the touchdown catch for South Carolina, but miscommunication, Dan, in that secondary for North Carolina.
It's the motion. Miles Woolfolk is trying to tell Miles Dorn, you've got to get back to the middle of the field. Look at the communication right here, telling him, get back there to the middle of the field. Because of those 3 receivers into the boundary, Miles Dorn never gets there. Tamon Fox is supposed to allow him to go. Touchdown, South Carolina. The fact that they moved the back out of the backfield forced the communication, and it wasn't good enough.
And a touchback on the kickoff as we answer our Aflac trivia question. All right, how many coaches are ranked 1st or 2nd in wins at 2 different Power 5 schools? Well, a couple of them obvious. Mack Brown and Steve Spurrier certainly jumped to mind. How about Bear Bryant, Bill Dooley, and we're going all the way to Pop Warner. 5 different coaches are in the top 5 in wins at a couple of different Power 5 schools.
North Carolina on there twice.
Now how does the freshman Sam Howell respond? Down by 2 scores. And they're going to run it with Michael Carter. And he picks up 4.
Bob, I told you about the heat down here, especially for the North Carolina sideline, and it seems to be bothering Sam Howell a bit. He was receiving attention from the athletic trainers. They were rubbing out both calves and his right forearm and hand. He was taking a ton of fluids. Seems to be bothered with some cramps. And Dan, I'm curious, have you ever had your throwing arm actually cramp up?
I have. The worst thing is what it does to affect your grip. You know, you just don't feel confident gripping the football.
That time seemed to throw a strike to Antoine Green, but Green couldn't hold on. Looked like pretty good coverage from J.C. Horn, whose father, Joe, is a 4-time Pro Bowler and a Saints Hall of Famer. And this is the training staff while South Carolina had the football working on the forearm of Sam Howell.
Now you got a cramping hand, wet ball likely because the sweat. 3rd and 8.
And a quarterback draw. And he's going to throw the football to a wide open Antoine Green. Underthrows him and it's incomplete. Sam Howell pulled the string. If he puts that on Antoine Green and Green keeps his feet, it is a touchdown. And now we're going to say it's a catch.
I mean, this is just a pass play, but South Carolina flows to the back. He takes off to run, and he's got him. He's got him. Now we talked about the cramp. Allison talked about the cramp. Did that affect his ability to get that ball down there? But it looks like he got his hands, Antoine Green, underneath.
Well, the replay booth wants to take another look.
The ruling on the field is a completed pass. The previous play is under review.
So it should have been an easy touchdown. At first ruled incomplete, then the officials got together. The ruling on the field is complete. And now the replay booth wants to take another look.
Looks like he gets his right hand underneath the football right there. But you can see when we watch that ball spin, it was not spinning well. And that could be impacted because the cramp and the sweat on the ball. But watch the right hand underneath the football. Great job of getting his body underneath. I don't believe there's enough to overturn that.
It's a game-changing decision, and I agree with you. The ruling on the field that they came up with was a completed pass, and it looks like that's what they're going to stick with.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. First down.
South Carolina fans not happy that the call didn't get overturned, but they should be very happy that that wasn't a touchdown.
Yeah.
Because there was no one in the zip code near Antoine Green. If Sam Howell can lob it to him and allow him just to keep his feet.
Nice job of him seeing, though. Like, he hit tuck to run, having the awareness to keep your eyes up, somehow flash color in front of you.
Howell under pressure, lost the football. North Carolina's offensive line trying to get it back and coming away with the ball. It's going to be down by contact, but that should be Javon Kinlaw with a fumble recovery. Kinlaw was on the ground when he scooped it up, so he should be down. But that is a fumble recovery for South Carolina.
The defensive coach was down when he recovered the ball. He first down for the recovery spot.
So Sam Howell coughs it up, a costly turnover for North Carolina.
Trying to do too much. J.C. Horn gets his hands on the ball. We've seen him cough it up a couple times today.
So for the 4th time today, the Gamecocks start a drive in plus territory.
J.C. Horn in the corner gets his hand right on the top of the ball, punches it out.
Still a lot of time left. Now North Carolina needs a stop. Play action for Bentley off an errant snap. He wants to take a shot to the end zone, looking for Edwards. It's incomplete, and there is a flag in the offensive backfield.
22. 10-yard penalty. First down.
That's Donnell Stanley, the right guard. A 6th-year senior. Didn't play all the way back in 2016, a medical redshirt because of a high ankle sprain. So he was granted a 6th year of eligibility this year. He puts South Carolina back on their side of the 50, and now another penalty for a false start.
False start. Offensive line. 5-yard penalty. First down.
You want to talk about things that'll age a head coach, man. You get a turnover, you're in take a shot position, you call it, holding. Next play, false start. I know it's first game of the year, but Will Muschamp it will not be happy with that.
He'll run it here with Rico Dowdle. And he gets walloped before he gets to the 50-yard line. Those 2 penalties could change the way that this game could play out, because South Carolina starting in plus territory. Now they back up. If North Carolina can force a punt, they could erase the giveaway.
Yeah, I mean, certainly field position, right? Because they were driving relatively well off that Howell completion on the scramble, but now a little bit of an unbalanced offensive line. They're trying to commit again to running the football.
And they'll run to the power side with Dowdle, and he is brought down behind the line again. Jeremiah Gimmel and Jason Strobridge got through, and now it is 3rd down and a mile.
Strobridge strong. Just grabbed the outside jersey of Dowdle and pulled him to the ground. You can see Sam Howell, fluids, bananas, potassium.
Whatever they can to get rid of those cramps.
This turned into 3rd and 20. You might think about taking a shot here and going, okay, Brian Edwards, will you go make a play?
4-man rush. Bentley to Shi Smith. And now an interesting call. You're inside the 40-yard line. It is 4th down and about 6. Probably too far away to try a field goal. Do you punt it with an 11-point lead, or do you go for it?
I'm going for it. I have so much trust the way my defense is playing.
They're sending out Joseph Charlton.
Will Muschamp.
Will Muschamp with an 11-point lead late in the 3rd quarter. 4th and 6 inside the 40-yard line is going to try and play field position.
Well, I think he's also going, okay, freshman quarterback who's dealing with some stuff. I'm going to make you go 85, 90 yards while you're down 11.
And North Carolina just now runs Daz Newsome out deep to receive the punt. He's going to let it drop. And the decision pays off perfectly for Will Muschamp. Charlton does his job and spins it down to the 2-yard line. Look at this week's college football playoff rankings, brought to you by Chick-fil-A. As we take a look at the preseason AP top 10. Clemson, they struggled for a bit with Georgia Tech, but eventually pulled away. Right now, Alabama not having any issues with Duke. What team intrigues you the most out of this group? Maybe from, say, 6 through 10 on that list.
Oh, Michigan with the new offensive play caller. Texas with Sam Ehlinger, one of the great quarterbacks in college football right now.
Antonio Williams finds a lane. That gets North Carolina out of trouble from their own 2-yard line. Has one run for 20 yards out to the 22. Little hitch to Daz Newsome. Spins for another first down.
I like it. Come out, run the football. South Carolina, some bad eye discipline with their linebackers. Quick tempo, RPO. Daz Newsome's a guy, number 5. He's got to get the ball more. He's a playmaker in space. Get him the ball different ways right now.
Another run by Antonio Williams. And he trucks his way for 9 more yards out to the 41. Jamias Williams brought him down, but paid the price to do so. Final minute of play in the third quarter. North Carolina with 3 field goals, but they are still very much in this game, down by 11. And off again to Williams. Again, Antonio Williams into the secondary. Hammers his way inside the 40. R.J. Roderick made the stop, but it's 22 more for Antonio Williams.
And South Carolina's committing an extra guy down there for the run. North Carolina right now just is not caring. What's happening is there's one guy on South Carolina's defense not putting his eyes in the right spot, whether it's the safety they're bringing down, whether it's the linebacker, and they're out of position. And the run right now for North Carolina, right or left, has been dominant.
Let's see if North Carolina gets another snap off before the end of the quarter. Looks like they will. And it's Javonte Williams. A drive that started at the North Carolina 2-yard line ends the third quarter inside the 30 for South Carolina as we head to the fourth on an 11-point game. And Dan Orlovsky, Allison Williams back in Charlotte at the Bell kickoff between South Carolina and North Carolina. The Tar Heels with over 200 rushing yards at this point, and they have run the ball on this drive to start the fourth quarter down inside the 30-yard line. Javonte Williams keeps the drive rolling on the ground with another first down carry, and the play blown dead just shy of the red zone.
When we talked to Phil Longo and Mac Brown, they made it simple, like we have to run it. And every coach says that. But Mac used the term, it's going to be a game of wills, and we have to try and break their will. And right now, North Carolina offensive line looks like they're doing it to South Carolina's.
A fade down the sideline. Juggling catches made by Dyami Brown for a touchdown. What a catch! 22-yard score.
The X-Factor, Dyami Brown. Sam Howell, give me a shot. Just enough to get a fingertip on it. And then roll underneath the ball. Get underneath the ball. What a great catch. Someone had to go make a play. Dyami Brown rises up. Sam Howell puts enough air to get it up over 24 Mukwamu. Outstanding eye control, balance, hand-eye coordination by Dyami Brown.
Now Jordan Tucker, the right tackle, cramped up. So he's being looked at by the training staff. Originally, Mac Brown sent the field goal unit out to try an extra point. Now they're pulling that group off the field. It's the fourth quarter. You're down by 5. You go for 2 here and get it. It's a 3-point game. And it's almost like the cramps of Jordan Tucker stopped the game and gave the North Carolina sideline a chance to talk this over and rethink their decision. And now they got their offense buckling their chin straps back up, I think, to go out there and try a 2-point conversion.
A big part of it is when you go into games as a play caller and a game planner, are there plays in this 2 or 3 yard line situation that you love? That you can go to Mac Brown if you're Phil Long and go, hey coach, we get down here, this play in this situation, I'm telling you, it'll score 99 out of 100 times. If you have that play, if you saw something on tape, this is the moment where you use it.
Is he going to leave the kicking group in to try an extra point, make it a 4-point game? Or will North Carolina go for 2 and try and cut the lead down to 3? Let's see what personnel group comes on the field. A bunch of big bodies are out there from an offensive line standpoint.
And it looks like they're kicking it.
And here's Sam Howell. They're going to go for 2 to try and make this a 3-point game. Now South Carolina has the right to substitute to get the players they want on the field to try and defend the 2. They run the option. Howell keeps it himself into the end zone. And they've got the 2. It's a 3-point game. The kicking group was on the field. That cramp by Jordan Tucker gave them a chance to talk it over and change their decision.
How about the young freshman? Act like you belong. Big touchdown pass. De'Ami Brown makes a play. 2-point conversion run. The ball fake. We got ourselves one 3-point game.
Back in Charlotte, right down the street from the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Appropriate, because Sam Howell has his own personal pit crew working on him on the sideline. They are changing the tires. They are filling them up with gas. And there's only one game on Monday night, and we'll have it college style. It's Brian Kelly and number 9 Notre Dame taking on Louisville. Scott Satterfield's debut game for the Cardinals. It's 8 Eastern from Cardinal Stadium on ESPN and the ESPN app. Howell gets to the sideline, and it's like 6 guys jump over the wall and start working on it. Short kickoff to Shi Smith. Out to about the 25-yard line. Another update with Matt Barry. We've got a 3-point game here, Matt, with 14:23 to go in the 4th quarter. Now, how does South Carolina respond? The North Carolina fans are on their feet, knowing their team's right back in the game. Jake Bentley on a keeper. Nice read by the quarterback to spin for 9 yards on 1st down.
Listen, you've got a senior left tackle, a redshirt junior left tackle, you've got a senior right tackle, you've got a senior quarterback, 2 senior running backs. You've been in this moment a ton before. Keep your composure and run your offense, but it is time to answer.
Fabian Feaster grinds out a 1st down and more, out to the 40-yard line. And you know what South Carolina fans are thinking, Dan? We can't lose this game. We've got an 11-point lead in the 4th quarter against a team that won 2 games last year. And still to come on our schedule, we play Alabama, Kentucky, Georgia, Florida, A&M, Clemson. They've got the hardest schedule in college football. Feaster picks up 2 yards. DeAndre Hollins made the tackle.
To your point with that schedule, you asked Will Muschamp about it, and he says, just a chance for us to be great. Is a chance for South Carolina and greatness. It doesn't even give you the opportunity unless you come away with the win here today.
Feaster. It'll be 3rd down after a 3-yard gain. Very important 3rd and 5 coming as we're a little over 2 minutes into the 4th quarter.
This has been the crux of them much better in the 2nd half than the 1st half. Jake Bentley today has been good on 3rd down. Most of that has come in the 2nd half. Condensed splits right here, anticipating man.
Bentley with a swing pass to Feaster. Short of the 1st down. And now a decision to make for Will Muschamp. Would you go for it on 4th down and about a half yard with a 3-point lead just on your side of the 50? And he will play field position, and he will send the punt group out. And there are a lot of South Carolina fans here that want him to go for it.
After watching that last drive, now here, keep your eyes up. Game 1, fake punt. That's on the table, but after watching last drive, I might think about going for this.
Charlton kicks it away. Newsome. A fair catch at his own 5-yard line. North Carolina down by 3 with momentum and the football when we come back.
Belk Kickoff is presented on ESPN by PlayStation 4, the best place to play, and in part by the new Duracell Optima.
Mack Brown with a reunion with Will Muschamp as he is back on the sidelines in North Carolina. And he's got a team down by 3 starting at their own 5-yard line after they went on a 98-yard drive on their last possession. And they'll run it with Michael Carter, and this time it's a negative play. DJ Wanham got through and brought him down for a loss of a couple.
That's the eye discipline that this defense last drive lacked. Wanham did not look in the wrong way. He didn't follow Sam Howell. He tacked Carter, tackle for a loss.
Again, it's Carter. Out just across the 10-yard line, so it's 3rd down and 4.
None of these backs have been brought down by the first guy, or these arm tackled today. 3rd and 4, Phil Longo. You got to put the ball in the air.
You trust your true freshman quarterback.
Yeah, he hasn't given me reason not to today.
Sam Howell in the shotgun on 3rd and 4. And now he'll look over.
Okay, so you saw motion by Daz Newsome. South Carolina rock and rolled their safeties, brought one from the middle field down. They're telling you we're in man coverage.
Howell off play action, lobbing one for Newsome. He's got it! "31 yards on the 3rd down conversion.
Just like the play in the first half, they get Daz Newsome the matchup they want on 21, Jamias Williams. A great throw again by Sam Howell.
Sideline warning against North Carolina. That's their first of the game. Result of the play is the first down.
Mack Brown sideline pretty excited by that catch. So much so, look, he's having a laugh with the officials after they got warned to stay back.
But this was great about that play. They got Newsome in motion, 1, to know the coverage, but 2, because they wanted the matchup. They wanted Daz Newsome on Jamias Williams. They got it, and it was a great throw and catch.
Play action again for Howell. Avoids a sack. Extends the play. Fires one into traffic. Did he squeeze it through? J.C. Horn had a chance at a pick. Somehow the ball found its way to Daz Newsome for another big running catch to the 35-yard line.
No. Okay, that works. It goes right by J.C. Horn, right through his hands.
Wow.
Living right.
Screen. Javonte Williams gets a block. Powers his way close to another first down. How did J.C. Horn miss it? He couldn't believe it.
Probably play defense. How about Daz Newsome, that catch, and then on the swing pass, he makes an outstanding block. Point of attack for this offense.
It was a first down for Javonte Williams. They're going to run the trick play. An end around to Toe Groves. Down to the 17, maybe the 16-yard line. They'll mark him down just inside the 17 for a gain of about 8.
And kind of what you feel right now is Phil Longo as a play caller in a groove and having a great feel for this game right now. And defensively, South Carolina, Will Muschamp, a little bit on edge, a little bit on their heels. Look at the hands on the hips. South Carolina's tired. This is what North Carolina want. We want to wear them out.
Taking a shot to the end zone. Climbing the ladder, Bo Corrales for the touchdown.
Give your guy a shot. Bo Corrales, go use that 6'4" frame on the true freshman, John Dixon. That's what running the ball does though. Okay, I got to play one-on-one on the outside. I got to commit more people. How about Sam Howell, back-to-back, 98, 95-yard drives.
And on that drive, he didn't have the run game there to dominate and bail him out. That first drive, the 98-yard drive, they ran it almost all the way down on that South Carolina defense. That drive was on the shoulders of the true freshman quarterback. And did Sam Howell ever respond? Bo Corrales gives the Heels a 4-point lead. It ever back tonight on ABC. Heisman hopeful Justin Herbert, number 11 Oregon, taking on number 16 Auburn in Arlington at AT&T Stadium. 7:30 Eastern. Our coverage begins. You can always watch it live on the ESPN app from anywhere. Saturday Night Football tonight, presented by Wells Fargo. How does South Carolina respond now that they've lost the lead? They'll start at their own 25 after we check in with Matt Barry again. As if Volunteer fans over the past few years were not happy enough already. What a way to start the year if they lose at home to Georgia State. Here's a South Carolina team that had an 11-point lead not long ago. Jake Bentley to work. Throws one well behind his intended receiver, Shi Smith. It'll be 2nd down and 10. Bob Wischusen, Dan Orlovsky, Allison Williams here in Charlotte. And it has been a quiet game for Brian Edwards, the star receiver for South Carolina.
1 catch, 7 yards. To be honest, hasn't gotten a ton of looks either. If South Carolina is going to come back and win this football game, and I'm Brian McClendon, their play caller, the ball is going to him often. We will win this game or lose this game on his shoulders.
Instead, they'll bounce one to Dowdle, and he's got nowhere to go. Met on the edge by Greg Ross. 3rd down and 12.
We talked about confidence and what Mack Brown has instilled into these players at North Carolina was just believing in them and a confidence, and you're watching it play out on the field. The momentum has completely swung. South Carolina play calling wise, 3rd and 13 with the defense that likes to change your picture and be all over the place is bad situation.
No chance for Jake Bentley. He goes down in the arms of Aaron Crawford.
Crawford has been outstanding in this game, in the run game. But what Jay Bateman did right there to get him a one-on-one block, tough guy to block, one-on-one being so powerful. Just watch the power here. He gets the edge of the center. Hank Manos. 3rd and 13, you have no shot there as an offensive lineman against an outstanding player like Aaron Crawford.
Fair catch from Daz Newsome. Back to his own 25-yard line. Again, Bob and Dan here. Allison down on the field. Well, it is only a 4-point lead. Still have 7 minutes up on the clock. If you're on Will Muschamp's sideline, where are you going for answers, and what are you telling your team?
Well, defensively, I've got to get them to focus on, hey, 2 things. We've got to try and go hunt the ball right now, go punch the football if they're running it. Worst case scenario, we have to get off the field here on 3rd down. Offensively, you got to go talk to Brian McClendon right now and be like, what are they doing to Brian Edwards that is not allowing us to get him the football? And Jake Bentley might need a little pat on the back. Hey, man, you're our guy. 32 starts. We're going to go as far as you'll take us.
As long as they don't give up a touchdown on this drive, they're going to get the ball back in what would be a 1-score game. You'd have to think with time on the clock to still go get the job done.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the goal right now, is getting your team to understand you're still in the game.
Javonte Williams runs into a lot of traffic in the backfield, and that's exactly the start that the Gamecock defense needed on this drive. Get a negative play on first down for a loss of 2. The clock's going to roll, but they've got all 3 of their timeouts. Still 6.5 minutes to go.
The thing defensively that's so important here, because you have had the ball run on you, is still having discipline of what your job is, because you can use this as a play caller, right? You want to be so aggressive, South Carolina. You think we're going to run the ball. It could be one of those play action shots or wrap slants that they've used so much today.
And North Carolina milking the clock down to about 6 on the play clock before they hand it to Javonte Williams, who picks up 4. It'll be 3rd down and 8. TJ Brunson there to make the stop. So here's the situation you're looking for if you're the Gamecock defense. Now you have to get a stop on 3rd down.
This is the thing. The past couple 3rd downs where North Carolina's been successful, they've used some kind of formation or motion to tell Sam Howell the coverage, and then they've got the matchup they've wanted. So Will Muschamp, you might think about if when they change your play, you change your play. Play some zone. Make this kid think rather than just pick a single receiver and throw him the ball.
UNC is 5 for 13 on 3rd down. Howell out of the pocket. Gets to the sideline and runs for it himself. Flag down. The Tar Heels think it's on the Gamecocks.
It certainly looks like in the spot of a holding.
I would think it would have been holding, but the Heels thought it was against South Carolina.
Personal foul, face mask, number 73 of the offense. 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. 3rd down.
Watch the right guard, McKeithen right there. Right about when Howell's going to break the pocket. Just grabs Javon Kinlaw's face mask enough. Probably restricts him from making that play. That's the right call. Obviously a bad break for North Carolina, but the right call now. Very cautious as a play caller, protecting the football.
Does this not have shotgun snap to Sam Howell, hand it off to Javonte Williams written all over it? Just let your defense go play again on 3rd down and 20. He's going to throw it, and he's going to take a long shot to the sideline, short of the 1st down to De'Ami Brown, but a good throw. That's an NFL throw outside the numbers and does buy some real estate for the punt group.
And here's the fascinating thing is we talked about the first half of, okay, we're treating him too much like a freshman. North Carolina, you're treating him too much like a freshman. 3rd and 20, backed up, moment in the game. You, in many ways, instilled a lot of confidence in him as a player by your play calls.
Well, you know, there are NFL teams that would have run a draw there.
Oh, big time.
Ben Kiernan, the true freshman from Ireland, the rugby-style kicker. Sends it deep. Brian Edwards on the run inside his own 20. Breaks a tackle and then gets popped down at about the 23. Does South Carolina have an answer with 4:22 to go? We're about to find out.
You only get one chance to make a first impression. This is a new team. This team has never played. This coaching staff has never been together. So this family, for the first time, is going to show millions of people who we are. And you look around the room a little bit, all of you are here for a reason. Why? You figure out why we brought you, and you just do your job. That's it. We don't need anything else out of you. In fact, if you try to do too much, you'll mess it up. Just do your job.
The pregame speech of Mack Brown, his first back on the sideline. And the first time back at North Carolina in 21 years. His team seemed to get the message. Now it's on South Carolina and Jake Bentley to go to work in a 4-point game. Incomplete. Looking for Brian Edwards on the cross.
Here's the reality. There's 4 minutes and 18 seconds left in this game. And if you're a South Carolina staff, player, what happened before does not matter. We have to lock in on this moment and play our best football right now.
Four-man rush, and Bentley still out of the pocket. Dives out of bounds with a gain of about 5.
Bob, to Dan's point about South Carolina, Jake Bentley has really been trying to keep this team upbeat. Throughout this fourth quarter, he's been telling his guys, look, you got to stay up. We're going to win this game, but you got to keep your heads up. He can tell his team is getting frustrated with the lack of production on offense. He's trying to stay positive.
Well, he needs to keep them focused here on 3rd down and 7 from his own 26.
He's got Edwards up top, and he's in one-on-one man coverage.
Nowhere to go. Bentley out of the pocket. He's just going to heave one downfield. Shi Smith interfered with. What a play by Bentley to avoid the sack and keep the play alive. And they're going to get pass interference. And DeAndre Hollins didn't turn around.
Pass interference. Defense, number 15. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
We've seen this from Bentley 3 times today. It's a great pressure. Strobridge gets him in his grasp. Bentley, strong, ducks underneath and does everything he can to get the ball downfield. Great job by Shi Smith of coming back to the football, kind of forcing that contact, but that play is because Jake Bentley's toughness.
There goes Bentley again. His original look wasn't there, and he didn't risk the football. Picks up a couple, but what a play he made to avoid that sack when Strobridge was all over him.
And Strobridge is 285 pounds. He'll be playing on Sundays. Great strength. But let me say this, because it happened on the sack he avoided, and he's being confused right now by Jay Bateman. The defensive coordinator is in his head, and he is confused seeing coverages.
Now he's going to take a shot down the sideline. Incomplete. He tried to get it to Edwards. It'll be 3rd down and 8. And there's Patrice Rene back in coverage on Edwards. That's a very important player that North Carolina got back for the second half after the first half suspension stemming from last year and the fight to close out the season against NC State. And now Brian Edwards is coming off the field.
And I'm just telling you, Jay Bateman is going to send something at Jake Bentley right here, defense, because he knows he's got him. He knows he's got him seeing things he doesn't want to see. Look for a delayed pressure somewhere in one-on-one blocks.
4-man rush. Bentley looking downfield. Intercepted. Miles Woolfolk dragged down at the 10-yard line. Flag on the play as well. The flag came out well after the interception.
We got it all nowadays. That's a pretty sweet belt now. You earned it. You earned it, Miles Woolfolk.
Now, once again, on the South Carolina sideline, they have to realize this game is not over.
Absolutely.
2:48 to go. They've got all 3 timeouts. If you can get a 3 and out and use your timeouts, you'll get the ball back with plenty of time on the clock to take another shot at it offensively. This is a big call, though, in terms of field position. What does this officiating crew have?
After the change of possession, personal foul, face mask against the offense, 15 yards from the end of the run. First down, North Carolina.
So that was on the tackle, and that brings it out to the 25-yard line. Shi Smith grabbed the face mask of Woolfolk.
Just enough discomfort that they've applied to Jake Bentley where you just force him to make a decision where you go, what are you doing? Now credit Miles Woolfolk for staying up on top, and you see the face mask right there by Shi Smith. A little frustration.
Now the Gamecocks have to get a stop and use their timeouts. Javonte Williams grinds out about 2.5 yards, and Will Muschamp right there to call timeout number 1.
And as a play caller and really a quarterback or anybody right now, you're telling your ball carriers one thing. You are cross-covering, 2 hands, cross the ball with both forearms, covering the football because they're coming for it. That's the worst case scenario. Second is, you still want to work towards a first down. 240 in college football with timeouts is a ton. So look for a potential zone read. Do you trust Sam Howell to pull it now that they're going to commit so much to this run game?
Now 1 first down for North Carolina all but ends the game, especially if it takes a couple more plays to get it, because South Carolina would have used their timeouts. There was a Mac is back chant going on behind the bench and on the bench apparently with some of the North Carolina guys. And if I'm Mac Brown, I'm turning around to those guys and saying, whoa, this game is not over yet. 2nd down and 8. Javonte Williams, a bowling ball into the line, out to the 30-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 5. Timeout number 2 called by the Gamecocks. And SportsCenter Saturday night. It is coming up tonight after Fresno State USC with Scott Van Pelt. The season debut of Tua and the Tide. Which teams impressed him the most in week 1? Plus, Coco Gauff, highlights of her match at the U.S. Open and the rest of the day at the Open. All that with SVP tonight. SportsCenter after college football on ESPN and the ESPN app. There's Phil Longo.
Coach, what do you want me to do? In
the ear of the head coach. Now, when you know the opposition in this spot is going to sell out to stop the run on 3rd and 5, would you use play action? 1 first down ends the game.
Yeah,
you throw for it, but if it's an incomplete pass, of course, you save South Carolina a timeout.
But if South Carolina is going to win this game because it's 2:38, I honestly don't think the timeout matters. 2:38 is, with clock stoppage on first down, is a ton of time. I would take a chance putting the ball in the air, yes.
3rd down and 5, and they will throw. Incomplete. So South Carolina gets the stop as Daz Newsome couldn't haul it in. So now 2:34 and a timeout for the Gamecocks. And if I'm reading Jake Bentley's lips there, he just said to his guys, we've got plenty of time.
Exactly. As not ideal as this game has gone for you, it does not matter. You've got the ball with the timeout and a chance to win the game, and this is your 33rd career start. It's a great opportunity for you.
Ben Kiernan. Edwards scoops it up. He's got a return chance. Ryan Edwards inside the 40-yard line of North Carolina. A 37-yard punt return by the star wide receiver. Just what the Gamecocks needed.
And just a vet move. He peeks as the ball bounces. Watch him peek to his right. Okay, he checks the coverage. I've got some space. And then it was kicked all the way to the other sideline to loosen this. He does not move like a 6'3", 215-pound guy. And we go back to this. Now there's tons of time. Edwards, an awesome job. 2 special teams plays today have really uplifted this football team. We'll see what kind of momentum it really carries over for this offense.
The 5th plus territory possession to start for South Carolina. Bentley on the slant. It's there. Josh Vann, first down.
You get this empty backfield again. No one back here. They're trying to clear up the picture a little for Bentley.
He had a streaking receiver heading towards the end zone. It was Shi Smith, and it sailed over his head.
He just got a little, it was almost like he was so wide open, he ran to the line of scrimmage. Never had his feet set.
Play action again for Bentley. He's going to take another shot towards Van, and this one floats out of bounds up against the end zone sideline. 3rd down and 10.
So as a play caller, 3rd and 10, obviously you have, if this is a 4-down territory situation, one part of your field you want a shot, right? One part you want to take a shot towards the end zone or 10 yards, but there's another way, another part of your design where, hey, this is an easy throw. If it's there, let's get us into 4th and 4, 4th and 5. Empty backfield again, clearing up the picture for the quarterback.
Intercepted again by Woolfolk. Woolfolk on the return. Into plus territory in front of an ecstatic North Carolina sideline.
Look at him right here. He's going to have vision. So watch Woolfolk. He's going to have vision right to Jake Bentley. Eyes on him the whole time. I'm going to drift one way, but I'm going to continue to watch you. Baited him into throwing that tight end seam cross to Markway. Vision on the quarterback the whole time. Baited him to throw it to him. Great discipline by Woolfolk.
South Carolina's got 1 timeout left. North Carolina will run it with Javonte Williams. And the Gamecocks are just going to have to try to rip the ball out now, as they will stop the clock with 1:38 to go. Two running plays for North Carolina, and they can take this down inside of 15 seconds or so.
It's crazy. When Mac, in pregame, in the locker room, was talking to his team, he used the phrase we hear so much, do your job. I would say that North Carolina, their players as a whole, did their jobs more consistently today. And the next goal was, we've got to break their will. And the offensive line from North Carolina, in many ways, on those 2 drives, did that.
And now they're not going to take any chances running a play. They're just going to take a knee. And Howe will kill some time and start the clock rolling.
Coach Brown told us how much it means to his players to get a win, but how about what it'll mean to him? He made a promise to himself and to Sally, his wife, that he was going to enjoy this more in this go-round. He said, I got to the point at Texas where the wins were just a relief and the losses became devastating. He has made a promise to enjoy the moment, enjoy the games, and you can imagine he'll be doing just that after this game if they can hold on.
Under a minute to go. And the instruction for Sam Howell: snap it with 3 seconds left and take a knee.
That's a cheap shot.
And they were looking for a flag as well. Now it's 4th down, and there's about a 10-second differential between the play clock and the game clock. So you think they would probably take the clock all the way down as far as they can, North Carolina, and call a timeout. You can't blame South Carolina for running in there trying to go for the ball. That's their only hope. But they can't just take a knee. And they did. Well, I'm very surprised that North Carolina would simply take a knee there. The change of possession is going to stop the clock with 10 seconds to go. If they punt the ball, then that changes things dramatically, because then South Carolina would either have to block the punt or rip off a return. Now the Gamecocks are in Hail Mary position.
There seems to be, I would imagine, some miscommunication on that sideline, because you take a timeout, snap, punt, you tell your punter catch, kick. Because now South Carolina probably has 2 shots at a Hail Mary.
South Carolina's out of timeouts, so they could draw themselves 7, 10, 12 yards closer by throwing it out to the sideline. But if you're North Carolina there, you can't take a knee. They took a knee and gave South Carolina the ball back in plus territory with 11 seconds on the clock.
I got to imagine there was some miscommunication on that North Carolina sideline.
And it looks like now North Carolina wants to call a timeout.
First charge time out of the half, North Carolina.
Because the Tar Heels just now had all of their players down near the goal line, at least 3 or 4 defensive backs, as if they were lining up for a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
And maybe someone on the sideline said, wait, 11 seconds is enough time to run a play, give yourself up, it'd be a first down, stop the clock.
Spike it if you
so
want.
So they don't have the luxury probably of running 3 or 4 guys 35, 40 yards down the field.
The question is, how much do you trust Brian Edwards in his height? Because do you want to give him 2 chances at a jump ball in the end zone? Because if you do the completion and potentially get out of bounds and give yourself up, it's only 1 chance at the end zone. I'm going to make sure that number 5, Patrice Rene, is out to the side of Brian Edwards.
And now North Carolina is deploying their troops differently. They are not dropping 3 guys down inside the 10-yard line. It's soft coverage. But Bentley is under pressure and does the thing he can't do, which is give up a sack. And the game is now going to belong to the Tar Heels. The clock runs out. And Mack Brown can now officially celebrate a win over his old defensive coordinator, as North Carolina upsets South Carolina in the Belk kickoff. Storybook, isn't it? A 2-win team brings back one of their legendary coaches. Mack Brown comes out of retirement and wins a rivalry game on opening day. 24-20 is the final. The Heels over the Gamecocks. What a way to begin the next chapter on Chapel Hill. From Mack Brown, and Allison's ready.
Coach Brown, you told us yesterday you need to wear them down and get it to the 4th quarter. How did you guys take over in the 4th and final quarter?
Allison, just proud of the guys. These guys have had a tough time, and we worked them really hard. We made so many mistakes. Oh, my God. And for them to win this game is such a great win for those kids, our coaching staff, and these fans, because they've waited for this a long time.
What makes this win so emotional for you?
I think just them losing so many 4th quarter games last year and the year before, and we just kept telling them 4th quarter, and then we tried to screw it up. And we couldn't even screw it up, and this will be the happiest team in the country tonight because they overcame adversity.
It will mean a lot to your team, and I know it will mean a lot to you. You made a promise to enjoy these wins more. How much are you going to enjoy this? I'm going to enjoy this. I've got so many lists of bad things that we did and coaching mistakes that we made, and I don't care. I am so happy. We'll worry about that tomorrow. We got Miami next week. I'm not thinking about them tonight. Absolutely. Enjoy it, Matt. Congratulations.
Think there was an emotion for Mack Brown coming back to North Carolina and winning a game like that? My goodness. He said he was going to make a promise to his wife, Sally, he would enjoy this more. That was the one condition she had when he took the job. I think he's going to enjoy this one.
How great was that moment? That is what is great about college football and the impact coaches have on players and players have on coaches.
For Allison Williams and Dan Orlovsky, I'm Bob Wischusen. A North Carolina win over South Carolina here in Charlotte. Time to go back to the studio.